Hello and welcome back to the Charm in the Wild news segment where we talk about everything that was happening with Charm in the last month or so. We go over our news, business, community contributions, and all the things that featured us. As you may or may not have seen on our social media, we are on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, by the way. We went to GitHub Universe. So it was our first IRL event that we attended, and we actually hosted our own event as well. That was super fun. We're going to do a little recap video very soon that'll get published, and you'll be able to see a little bit of the behind the scenes on that. We actually all got matching nails. I don't have them anymore, but we had these very, very fancy matching nails with the GitHub team. Theirs was more GitHub branded, ours was Charm branded, and we took a little video all together with our fancy nails for Universe. So that was super fun. And then Carlos actually came out with a blog post about issuing and using SSH certificates. If you're interested in SSH, Carlos is basically our resident SSH expert. So I highly recommend following up with his blog and learning what you can from him. Highly recommend all of the resources that he's sharing on that. And then we also had a new bubble tea release. We released version 0.23.0, which had a lot of changes. This one was a big release that we've been waiting for a long time. And thank you so much to Ken's, who contributed a ton of work on this one. So thank you so much for your contributions. And thank you to all the other contributors that also worked on getting this release out the door. Charm team member Moss also came out with a new project called Nap that allows you to manage your code snippets. So there's both a CLI and a 2E. So up to you on which one you'd prefer, but it's nice. You can have very easily accessible code snippets. Super cool stuff. I'm obsessed. And then Carlos was actually featured as a guest for GitHub Universe. Highly recommend checking out that recording. I will link it in the description so that you can check it out. It had Abby as the host, Yusef, COVID, and Carlos kind of talking about a GitHub sponsors and the future of that. So that is definitely super interesting and a good follow-up to the roundtable that we did with Abby and the GitHub team as well. Now, let's talk about the business side of things. We did have Imrock, who tagged us on Twitter with their latest GIF that they created with VHS. So it's very cool for us to see examples of different organizations using our stuff. And I definitely have peeped some of those VHS GIFs. So very excited to see those being used more widely throughout different READMEs and stuff like that. Thank you so much, Imrock, for featuring us and sharing what you're working on with your CLI. Now let's talk community. So you can see that LR Stanley on GitHub started up with Bubble Tint. So Bubble Tint allows you to stylize your terminal applications using pre-bundled tints. So I believe they've even got an example where they're using Dracula. Here they've got an example of how they've modified the colors for their progress bar and the check marks, all of that good stuff. And then this is also a customized theme, and they're kind of flipping through some different stuff there. And what's really cool about this is that it actually applies to any projects that are using lip gloss. So it's based on lip gloss and anything that implements the color.color interface. And then next up, we've got PVW. So this one is written with Bubble Tea, and it basically allows you to get a table view on all of the ports on your machine. So this one's super fun as well, and I highly recommend checking it out. Finally, we've got Cedric came up with this crazy World Cup 2022 CLI dashboard. I didn't even know that nerds watched sports, so that in itself was enlightening for me. It's really quite elaborate and really cool. So you can see all the groups, you can see what's happening for the latest on the World Cup series from your terminal. Definitely recommend checking that one out. It's built with bubble tea and lip gloss, so love to see how those are being used, and this is definitely super creative. Finally, let's talk about our different features for this month. So you can see we actually got featured in a blog post by Mace. Oh gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce his name. Masij. Thank you so much for the feature. They did a blog post on how you can write a beautiful bash scripts with Gum with some amazing GIFs and codes, little code snippets that you can use and all of that good stuff. They've mixed in their own tips and tricks and all these different examples. So if that is something that you're interested in, check it out. I will have it linked in the description. We've also got Leigh Dodds, who did a blog post on recreating sci-fi terminals using VHS. Neo receiving messages from Trinity in the Matrix. So it's basically like throughout history, all the different terminals that you see in the sci-fi movies and stuff like that. Basically reproducing that with VHS, which is really cool. If you're interested in seeing how each of these effects have been achieved, you can check it out on the repo. And then we also had another collaboration. You guys might have seen the live stream. We kind of did a little stream snipe there where we were watching it while on my stream, we were watching their stream. So that was pretty fun. But we were featured on the GitHub stream not too long ago where Jay-Z and our co-founder Christian were chatting with Roselle from GitHub. And they had some really great topics, and it's always great hearing from one of the co-founders who, you know, he's our designer. He's basically got the vision for what charm is, you know. So of course, it's always great to hear from our co-founders. We love it. So I will also have all of this stuff linked in the description. And then finally, the README project mentioned us on their podcast. So thank you so much for the mention. I know that it was basically just they had featured us previously in one of their blog posts basically that they do for the README project. We were featured in their blog post about the future of the command line and all that good stuff. So thank you again for the shout out. We very much appreciate that. And that wraps up the charm news for November. Okay, it's getting cold. Wear your sweaters, drink some tea. Have a good time. Happy coding. We have the advent of code that's happening that would have already just started this week. Super exciting. Comment below if you are participating. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to participate. I'm going to see if some of the other team members are participating. Go ahead and join the Discord if you feel like you want to be part of the community. And thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to support our channel. And we'll see you in the next video. We've got some cool stuff lined up, and I'm very excited for you to see them. Bye.